Welcome to Tawfiq Tidbits. I'm Uncle Akbar, here to share stories of transformation that align with values that matter, yours and mine. In each episode, we explore real-life examples of resilience, compassion, and growth that can inspire you to live authentically. So let's get it started. Welcome to another episode of Tawfiq Tidbits. Today, we're tackling a topic that many wrestle with: self-forgiveness. If you ever felt weighed down by guilt, shame, or self-judgment, this episode is for you. We'll explore why self-forgiveness is not just an act of kindness, but a crucial step in personal growth, blending psychological tools with timeless wisdom. We'll also introduce a practical strategies, a guided self-forgiveness letter, and a simple yet powerful affirmation practice. Stick around, because healing starts within, and today we take that step together. Let's start with a fundamental truth. You can't heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Many of us hold on to self-judgment as if punishing ourselves will somehow make us better. But here's the deal. Self-compassion isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Research shows that people who practice self-compassion have lower levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. Think of it this way. If a close friend came to you feeling ashamed about something they did, would you berate them, or would you offer understanding and encouragement? Now, what happens when we extend that same kindness inward? That's the game changer. Let's take this practical tip. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Hold and release. Let's set the intention to approach ourselves with gentleness today. Many faith traditions speak on forgiveness, but Islam offers a particularly profound perspective. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that divine mercy outweighs divine wrath. One of my favorite verses is, "Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins." This is from Surah 39, Ayat 53. Now, if the creator of the heavens and the earth extends limitless mercy, why do we struggle to do the same for ourselves? The key is understanding true repentance, which is not about self-punishment, but transformation. Islamic scholars teach that the formula for self-forgiveness includes acknowledgement, owning what happened without self-condemnation. 2, regret, not as a tool for shame, but as a sign for growth. Resolution, making a conscious step moving forward. Think of self-forgiveness not as erasing the past, but as allowing yourself to step fully into who you are meant to be or to who you are becoming. Okay, now let's talk about tools. One of the most effective ways to release guilt and shame is through attunement. Attunement allows us to tune into deeply held emotions, stepping from self-blame into self-awareness. In my coaching, I emphasize the importance of attunement, being fully present with our emotions rather than suppressing them. It invites us to name our emotional wounds, acknowledge them, and release them with intention. Here's a quick exercise you can try with me. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Say aloud, "Even though I feel guilty about X, I deeply and completely accept myself." So this is what this might look like. Even though I feel guilty about engaging in behaviors that go against my personal values, I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a deep breath. Feel where the guilt or shame sits in your body. Now repeat. I choose healing over self-blame. Again, I choose healing over self-blame. By the end of this, notice if you feel a little lighter. It isn't about forcing yourself to feel differently. It's about making space for a new emotional experience. One of the most powerful exercises in self-forgiveness is writing yourself a letter. This is not a letter of excuses, but a letter of release. In my coaching, I call this clearing out your inner shed, removing emotional clutter that no longer serves you. And here's how it works. Address the letter to yourself, acknowledging the pain, what happened, and how you felt. Express understanding, why you may have reacted that way. Grant yourself forgiveness. Affirm your right to step and move forward. Seal it with intention. Write one promise to yourself moving forward. Feel free to pause here and take 10 minutes to write. When you're ready, come back and we'll move into our final reflection segment. Welcome back. How did that go for you? Well, here's what I'd like you to do in the next step. If you have a trusted friend or mentor or partner, consider sharing part of your self-forgiveness letter with them. Sometimes speaking our truth out loud dismantles the power of shame. If you're doing this solo, you can reflect through journaling. What emotions came up during the letter exercise? What shifts do you notice in how you feel about yourself? What's one thing you can do today to show yourself compassion? The beauty of self-forgiveness is that it's not a one-time event. It's a practice. And like any practice, the more you engage with it, the more natural it becomes. Before we wrap up, here's your next step. Create a daily affirmation, something simple like this. I'm worthy of my own kindness, and repeat it every morning. Self-forgiveness journal. Let's create a self-forgiveness journal. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to reflect on moments where you showed yourself grace, or maybe where you struggled to. Join this conversation of self-forgiveness. Share your experience with us online or with a close friend. Healing does not happen in isolation. Remember, healing starts within, and you have permission to move forward. That's it for today's Tawfiq Tidbit. I hope this story has sparked something meaningful in your life. Don't forget, transformation begins with one small step.